mentioned this in the book where you got into, and I can't remember if it was this book or the other book, where you got into, they were focusing on the incarnation and not the crucifixion or the resurrection. There was an aspect of that part. But to me, I was like, they're bookends. Of course, they're bookends. You need both. But the emphasis depends upon what's going on in that cultural moment. Because even in the Gospels itself, I mean, you have Jesus referred to his birth in Matthew, but Luke doesn't mention a thing about it. So he didn't find it relevant for his audience. Not that it's not, it is. There's a reason why we have the four Gospels. Sorry, I'm just geeking out there.
I think what has helped me in answering questions like that are the really terrific works of missiological history and theory of the last 30 years. So
yay!
I've told people that at one stage of my life, I avoided a midlife crisis by finding out how interesting Canadian history was. And then a little bit later, I had discovered Andrew Walls and Laman Sana and Dana Robert, and they allowed me to miss another midlife crisis. I think what is so trenchant, so perceptive with Andrew. I mean, it's a lot of people now, but I first got it from Walls and Sana and Dana Robert, was that the Christian gospel never comes without culture.
Yes,
it's always enculturated. So the life, death, resurrection of Christ is very specific in Jewish culture under Roman Empire of the first century. Okay. So that means just the notion that there's a kind of culture-free Christianity that drops on different cultures just doesn't work. But then the missiologists go on to say, and this is particularly strong in essays that I read first in Andrew Walls, that the character of the Christian faith means that it is at home in any culture. So if you're think what is the weirdest kind of social cultural setting you know, and then the one you're in, which of course is the normal, ordinary, right one. The Christian faith is always enculturated, and it always can speak to in any culture. And the Christian faith always calls people in every culture to repent of their sin, to recognize the need for forgiveness and improvement. So in a way that I think is just mind-blowing, when you try to wrap your mind around it, Christianity solves the wrong word. Christianity exemplifies how the one and the many can get along with each other. There's one incarnation. It's always in culture when it appears again, but it ties together potentially those who are from this. You get the wonderful passages in the book of Revelation about people from every tribe, nation, and tongue. And you think, well, gosh, if you stop to think about that, when in human history have people from every tribe, tongue, and nation actually gotten along with each other? Not even speaking about singing together or praising one thing together, but just kind of not killing each other. Well, there's the genius of Christianity. But it's not a Christianity that floats above and calls people up. It's a Christianity that enters in and gathers in the world culture. So, I've only been reading these missiologists for 25 years, and I think it's going to take actually centuries to incorporate what are the really strong commitments to human life as it's lived. The no pie in the sky Christianity, the really strong commitment, because the life of Christ was deeply, infinitely committed to human existence. But then also to see that cultural specificity goes along with the universality of grace in all cultures. And I mean, that is what it has done for me is to make me no longer feeling guilty about really prizing the things that have spoken most clearly and powerfully to me in my culture, and at the same time moving toward trying to respect and understand and have empathy for how the Christian faith has spoken so deeply, as profoundly, as clearly to other people in other cultural situations. I call it a missiological understanding, but that to me is both given confidence in going further in what I think are the Christianity's expression where I live, but also gaining respect for Christianity's transformations where other people live. Culture, in other words, culture needs a lot of reflection by people interested in Christian faith, and I think that's one of the deficits of the, broadly speaking, evangelical tradition, that has been much stronger in action than in thinking about action. You don't want to go completely in the other direction and think so much you're not acting, but thinking about how the gospel is always enculturated, always at home, but then always also calling people to transform where they live.